Let's discuss the anatomical features of the midbrain when we do the cross-sectioning at the level of superior colliculus. So the midbrain has two cerebral peduncles which are interconnected. It is divided into three parts by the presence of cerebral aqueduct, which is present in the central gray matter. The cavity of the fourth ventricle continues upwards into the midbrain as cerebral aqueduct. Second thing is the presence of a large, very important motor neuron which is present in the anterior part. It has melanin granules and it is named as substantia nigra. So based on the location of cerebral aqueduct and the substantia nigra, midbrain is divided overall into three parts. The part of the midbrain which is present behind the cerebral aqueduct, that is termed as the tectum. Between the cerebral aqueduct and the substantia nigra, the part is referred as tegmentum. And the third part in front of substantia nigra is the crus cerebri. In a cross-section of midbrain at superior colliculus, the obvious feature is the presence of a large neuron in the posterior part which is referred as the superior colliculus. It receives afferent from the optic nerve visual cortex and the tectospinal tract, and the efferents they pass on to the tectospinal and tectobulbar tracts. Just posterior to this is the pretectal nucleus, which is associated with our light reflex, and the efferent from this go to the parasympathetic nucleus of the oculomotor nerve. In the gray matter, there are nuclei of third nerve and fifth nerve. Posteriormost is the mesencephalic nucleus of the trigeminal nerve. Just ventral to this, there is a parasympathetic nucleus of the oculomotor nerve and the motor nucleus of the oculomotor nerve. So we will collectively name them as the nuclei of the third cranial nerve. Just ventral to this, there is the location of medial longitudinal fasciculus, which is responsible for connecting the nuclei of third, fourth and sixth cranial nerves with the eighth vestibulocochlear nerve. Just in the ventral area, there is a location of a very important large nucleus, which is the red nucleus. It owes its name because of its increased vascularity and the iron containing pigment. The fibers of the red nucleus, they decussate at the same level in front and they give bases of the Rubrospinal tract. The reticular formation of the midbrain is present around this red nucleus. In the front part of the crus cerebri, there is very important arrangement of the descending fibers. Moving from medial to the lateral side, there is arrangement of the frontopontine fibers in the most medial part. Next to it is the location of corticospinal fibers and the corticonuclear fibers. And lateral to this is the location of temporopontine fibers. So FCT in the arrangement from medial to lateral, frontopontine, corticospinal and temporopontine. The oculomotor nerve emerges passing from the red nucleus, and it appears on the ventral aspect in the interpeduncular fossa between the crus cerebri. Lastly, in the lateral part of the midbrain, there is arrangement of three lemnisci. The medialmost is the medial lemniscus, which is formed after the decussation of internal arcuate fibers of nucleus gracilis and nucleus cuneatus. Just behind to this is the location of spinal lemniscus, which is formed by the lateral spinothalamic tract joining the anterior spinothalamic tract and the spinotectal tract. And at the end, we have the location of the trigeminal lemniscus, which is associated with the fibers of the trigeminal nerve.